and welcome to another episode of Theories and Thoughts Podcast with your hostess Anya.
And Fancy.
Hey y'all, hey, how y'all doing out there? I'm still sharing. Goodness, it always takes me forever feel like. So what are y'all doing out there? How was y'all weekend? Fancy, how was your weekend?
It was okay. I caught a cold since while traveling into New York, and I guess like the airport and all that stuff. So I just really took cold meds and stayed in for the most part. Yours?
My weekend was I had a good weekend. I Well, it started Thursday, kind of. What happened in my life, just something. I feel like it's big, it's life changing for me because, um, so Thursday, my client who always, I just realized I'm still signed in with you. So I still see everything. I'm not going to touch anything, but I see everything. I didn't, sign out. But is it going to mess up anything you got going on?
Well, I don't know. I'm wondering. I see that it didn't. It said when it came on, it gave me the notification then that it may not be recording. So I'm kind of wondering how that's going to play out. But if it doesn't record, then that was my main thing. So I spent the little intro time trying to figure out how to delete some of the recordings. So I don't know how this going to work, but I don't know about the other part.
Oh, okay. I just looked up and was like, oh, this don't look like when I normally just be on there. But it is live, so
Okay.
on Facebook and on YouTube. So Thursday, I have a client who has a radio show. And on her radio show, like after her radio show, she normally has a meeting that's her meeting is usually her meeting is usually at 1:00 after the show and everything, and it's usually in person. But this time it was over it was Zoom. So I was just sitting there, and I had mentioned to her that I'm thinking about leaving my church, and I just happened to mention to her that, hey, Sharona. And it was so crazy because they having their meeting, and in the middle of the meeting, the lady said, Leadership Academy. And I was like, I'm not coming to Leadership Academy, and I'm not joining our church. And she looking at me like, what is this about? And I'm like, I don't know, but I'm just letting you know. So she told them, and they were just like, Anya, they were like, who's that? And it was just really crazy because I feel like that was the Holy Spirit talking to me, like, you need to be at Leadership Academy or whatever. So then Friday came because they was preparing for a luncheon on Saturday. So Friday came, and my girlfriend calls me, and she's like, so such and such wants to know if you're coming to the luncheon Saturday. And I was like, no, I gotta work. And she was like, okay. But Saturday morning I woke up and thinking about this luncheon. So I'm like, okay, guys. So I called my girlfriend up and I'm like, I said, I don't know if I'm coming to the luncheon or not. What time is it for or whatever? So I had to be to work at 12:45, and I was just gonna work 4 hours anyway. So I was like, I'll call then. Get to the luncheon, and God just did some things there at the luncheon, and he so I have stuff booked for every weekend of August, but one. I had everything booked for, like, I'm traveling a lot in August and I'm doing stuff. So it was just so funny because they're having a retreat that's on the only weekend that I had off in August. So I was like, God, seriously? Like, okay, I get it. Because I had been praying about leaving Home Depot. I didn't need the money. I just had a hard time of letting go of things that I should let go of. Mm-hmm. And so many times we hold on, and God is like, let that go. That's not for you. That no longer serves you. So it serves you purpose. And I left and so then I got a pamphlet about I got a postcard about the Leadership Academy. I was like, okay, God, obedience. All right. So the lady was like, so I signed up for the retreat, which is the last weekend in August. And I had met two girls there, and I was like, okay, God, I see what you're doing, because they were leaders. It was a lead kind of a leaders luncheon, people that's over life groups at that church. And so I was like, okay, God, I see what you're doing. So I teach at church. And you have to go to my church in order to know me, in order for me to tell you that I teach at church. So I was messing with the lady that's over Leadership Academy. I was like, look what I got. Okay, I'm gonna come. She was like, okay. She said, yeah, because I need you to help teach. And I was like, how do you know that I teach? Like, how do you know this? Like, I was just showing different things. So before I even walked up, to be honest with you, I heard divine appointment. Like, I heard divine appointment. So when I was leaving, God was like, it's time to let go of Home Depot. So I left straight from the church, even though I called off from work, and went and put in my notice at Home Depot. Put my notice in the Home Depot, and then I cried a little bit, even though it's gonna be at the end of July. So it's so funny because the last day of the month is on a Sunday, July 31st, and that's the last day of our 90-day journey. So I was like, that is so significant to me. Like, it just feels like so significant. So that's what happened, and I'm just watching God in this whole thing. I feel a shift going on. And I met with my coach yesterday. We went through my 6-month plan, and what am I going to be doing, what I'm going to have ready for next week. So I'm like really, really excited, curious about me. Tony Jones says, I'm curious about myself. I'm really, really, really curious about me and this woman that I am yet becoming. I've become, but yet I'm still growing. So that's what happened this weekend. It was really, really, really spiritual for me. Spiritual and pretty a little emotional, because I was just like, okay, I see you. I see what you're doing here, but you have to be sensitive to the spirit in order to feel God in those ways. Because as I was telling the girls, it's so funny because I was telling them at the table, because they're over the life group. Life groups are, whenever you go to bigger churches, sometimes you feel lost in the sauce, because it's so big and you don't have the individuality. Well, the life groups help you do life with different people, and they have different things to the life group. So you might have older women, younger women, entrepreneurs, divorcees, married people. Like, you just have different names, men, whatever. And the girls was like, yeah, sometimes people don't come. I said, well, Jesus didn't beg nobody to come. So why we begging? We ain't got to beg nobody. And they started laughing. It was just funny. So that was it. I'm just really excited. Like I said, I'm curious about me, and I'm really excited about the next things that God is doing. Watching Him give and take, even so yesterday, I hung up the phone with her, and I went to do something for one of my clients, because I have another client. So it's like I'm getting clients for production now, especially now that Home Depot is leaving. So it's like really funny. And I went to do something with that, and this laptop that I'm on just would not come on. It would not come on. Like, it just, the screen, everything. So I had to call Sharon and ask her which laptop to buy. Bought a laptop yesterday, picked it up today because I knew I was going to need it for the show. But the laptop came on today. So bless God. And I have my new one.
Well, that's nice.
And I'm just thankful that I had the money. So it was like, I'm thankful that I'm in a position to have the money to just buy it straight out and different things. So I'm just, that was my weekend. It's just watching God do and be who God is. So
That's nice.
Couple people.
Just to acknowledge some of these hellos. So there's Telford Jamerson. Hi, Telford. Hi, Yolanda. Hi, this Kholo JM Whip.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Sharona. Spoke to her earlier. Hayden Jalen. Y'all can drop in the comments where you all are coming in from. Guy Hackworth, I see, said he's from Pensacola, Florida. Bean Lewis said good night. Wait, I'm getting lost somewhere. Oh, Sharona said, "Yay, laptop." Brandy Bell Arrington said, "Hello, hi, Brandy." And I'm not certain why you can't hear Delsa. Since like everybody else is able to hear.
Yeah, Aaron and Denitra too. I think you had lost your footing. Your
Oh, hey, Aaron. I'm sorry, I do see you there, and Denitra. Yeah, nice meeting y'all.
So hey y'all, hey, drop where y'all viewing from. So shout out to Jennifer Hudson. She is the newest EGOT. Let's go. So EGOT is Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. So last night was it last night? The night before, Sunday. She got a Tony. So that is so dope. I love seeing that. Whoopi Goldberg is an EGOT as well,
Yeah, and John Legend.
and John Legend. So that's like so dope. Like you really into your craft if you got an EGOT. And there's a lot of people who said they want to have an EGOT. So I think Tiffany Haddish, I was watching an interview with her and she said she want to have an EGOT. So that's just so dope to me, and it is such an honor
Yeah,
that
definitely.
you at the top of all of them.
I
So
think there's only like 18 people that have ever received one. Just qualified for all of that.
So, shout out to everyone who made. I'm trying to find it on my phone. Shout out to everyone who made the double XL freshman cover. Nardo Week, Frago. Some of these people, Saucy Santana. I know him. Babyface Ray. I don't know him. Big Scar, Ken the Man, Big Thirsty, and the rest of them I don't know. I don't know them people I said either, but that's the ones that I can
I
make out
kind
what
of
they name.
know Nardo. I I've heard him like on Apple Music, but I wouldn't know what he looked like. But yeah, shout out to him.
Yeah, so the cover was released. That's a big honor, a big deal for rappers. They always looking out to see who makes the freshman cover. So now, guys, this week I was looking at, and I need to go back. Yeah. So I was looking at scrolling social media as I do, and I seen this New York Times post, New York Post thing where it says, "Woman stunned after boyfriend refuses to pay for half of her flight." And after reading the article, it says the internet has sided with a woman after her boyfriend refused to pay for half of her flight after inviting her on a trip. So our TAT question of the night is, when someone invites you somewhere, is it expected that they will pay for it? Whether it's a trip or dinner, etc. So while you guys put your comments down in the comments, let's talk about it. Fancy, what's your thoughts? Did you read the article? You got it?
Yeah, I read the article, and so it seems like in the situation of the article, the boyfriend really just seemed like such a jerk, to me, being that because if you read the article, then you know that his boss was actually covering his part of the trip, so I really don't understand. And then like he was gonna be maybe in first class or something more expensive, and he was like he would not um join her, for I guess coach or whatever. And he just seemed really pompous and conceited, in my opinion. And then the fact that he wouldn't even pay half, honestly, I would have been expecting him to pay the whole thing because hell, he got it. But for me personally, like if it's somebody that I'm dating and they invite me somewhere, I always try to ask people though. But I would kind of be, thinking that, and before, and I think we kind of discussed this, in this day and age, it's like now everybody be like, oh, you should be prepared to pay and this and that. Yeah, I think it'll be good to be prepared to pay, but I think if you're in a relationship with someone, especially, just I don't know, and maybe this kind of goes into gender roles, but if a man invite me somewhere, then I expect for him to be paying for that. Unless it's like, if I invited him, then I would be like, oh, I'm gonna pay for you or something. But if it's a matter of friends, this is someone I have not been intimate with, then yeah, I would be kind of like, oh, we can split it, or if it's a friend girl or something, then it would be totally different. I wouldn't be expecting it. But somebody that I'm sleeping with that I've been with for 3 years, hell yeah, I expect for them to pay. That just only makes sense to me. And I just don't even see how they survive 3 years that way.
Agreed. All of that, because I went on a trip, in for New Year's Eve, and I was invited, but it was a friend, and we hadn't been intimate, and he paid for everything when we got there. Like, he paid for everything. Only thing I paid for was my flight. I didn't have to pay for anything else. And I agree. I so agree. I wonder what else was going on in their relationship. Because for me, if you invite me, that's just like if I invite a guy out somewhere, it's like I'm taking care of this. If unless he says no, I got it. But especially if I've been dating him a little while, I got it. Because after a while, you get to a place where you foot the bill or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I would have we wouldn't be together anymore. That's one. Half, you couldn't do half of it. I'm like you. I would have expected him to pay for the whole thing.
Yeah.
Him to pay for the whole thing. And he does sound like a jerk, and he should be by himself. I don't even hold those type of conversations. And I was telling somebody that the other day, I don't hold those conversations about what I'm bringing to this table and what you bringing to the table and all that. I don't hold those conversations with men. I just don't, and I'm not going to. Like, if that's what you work, cool, baby, bye. I might let you a little bit later. Because, yeah. And what I need and what I want is so much more than just money and financial.
I'm not gonna. It might be more than, but money is included in it for me personally. And also, I've never had a "what do you bring to the table" conversation, but I don't know. My dating life is so weird to me. I see Joe Morris said, "Fancy you go on dates?" No, not at this time. And Delia Place asked about Darryl. Darryl be coming on in just a minute.
So, but well, yeah, acknowledge them. I would say that I haven't had those conversations personally, but I see them all the time on social media. Like, a woman should do this, and what you bring to the table. And I'm not having no.
Oh, because I don't know. I saw them online, but I've never
You're
actually
right.
anybody. Yeah, just actually.
No, nobody ever asked me that, and they may know not to ask me nothing like that because yeah. So y'all tell us what y'all thinking. If somebody invites you somewhere, do you expect for them to pay for it? Like a trip, dinner, anything, an outing. If they ask you if you want something, do you expect for them to pay for that? Like, if they go into the store and they ask if you want something, should they pay for that? That's different. Let me stop. That's different.
I kind of think with that one, that could be kind of tricky, because like if they might just be asking to see if they need to pick something up for you or something. But I definitely think like if it's a dinner or something, but it's like I'm starting to see more stories about where it's like they just had that woman that went on a date with the man who really already looked scraggly in my opinion, but she went on a date with him and then he was like he wasn't gonna pay for her half, and I thought that was really crazy. But
the one who said, "Are you gonna have sex with me?" and she was like, "No," and he was like, I'm not paying for your food. Give her hers. See, on that, me personally, on that particular one, baby, I'd have left before he could play with me because I'm sure he didn't already asked for that. Even though he was driving, you don't have no homegirls. When I go out with anybody, especially if it's a first date or something like that, and I don't really know him like that, I'm calling one of my girlfriends. They already know where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? And just trust the plus, baby. Trust the plus. No, And somebody put in the comments on Shade Room, he couldn't even. You should have known he wasn't gonna pay for you. He couldn't pay for no haircut. I was like, that part, all of that.
I don't know. He I don't know.
And
He didn't even look like somebody that was on a date, So
he
yeah,
was like nobody I would date.
yeah, he didn't. But he do look like the I'll pay for it type, but I don't know.
Right.
So maybe if she had agreed, then he would have, I see hadn't Jalen said yes. Davita Williams said yes if they invite me out to dinner or on a trip. If they go to the store, no. Okay. Brandy Bell Arrington said if they say let's have a girls' day out, I would assume it's Dutch. Um,
Well, yeah.
yeah, I mean,
In
like
most cases, yeah.
it's
That's
like
a girl's day.
Aaron Pitt said, I don't think there should be an expectation, but that's dependent on a relationship. Unless it's prior stated, I want to treat you to dinner. It's a lot of variables. Okay.
And been a long time.
Everybody's saying, but I'm not gonna lie. Like, don't ask me out if you're not paying. It just don't make a lot of sense. I mean, or we could be like, oh, let's do something together and maybe if it's something you all like plan together in that sense and be like, I don't know, but it just don't sit well with me. Brandy said, but if a man said, let's go out to dinner, I would assume he would pay. But unfortunately, you need to have backup. I do agree there, Brandy.
I've been on a date where a man actually left.
What you mean?
He left. He said he was going outside. So here's the thing. I'm not one of them girls I'm not that girl that's going to buy up the store just because you treat me. Because most of these restaurants we're going to, I probably already went by myself or went with my girlfriends. So whenever I go somewhere, I order an appetizer, I order my food, I'm gonna order a drink, might order a dessert. So after I ordered my appetizer, he was like, I was looking at things, he said, oh, you ordering something else? I was like, yeah, I'm ordering my food. And we was already drinking. And it's a lot of backstory. It's a little backstory to this, but this is just this part. And he was like, oh, so he went to the bathroom a couple of times. And then he said, I gotta go get something out of my car. But before, like, this was the second restaurant we had went to. This was the third restaurant we had went to. The first one, he was like, we don't have to get no drinks in there. I got drink in the car. I had drove myself, girl. I drove myself. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was crazy. I was like, okay. And when we went to the third restaurant, I was about to leave. But now I was like, no, let me just try me letting go shit. Let me just try. And
this was all in one night, you saying y'all went to?
We went to, first of all, you can't take me to Applebee's on a date. I don't even really be going to Applebee's with my homegirls. Even though I just went to Applebee's on a dessert date, that was different. But you can't really be taking me to Applebee's because I mean that's just how I feel. So then we went to Chili's, and I was like, "Well, if we going to Chili's, we might as well go to Razul's because that's where I wanted to go." And he was like, "I already ate." Girl, it was just so many things.
Yeah, that was another red flag too. Because why would you eat like if you knew,
I was young.
Comments coming in. Davita said, it's so ironic. I was just teaching my grandson this very thing. You out on a first date with a young lady, you as the man are to pay for it. Even if the date doesn't go well, you still be a gentleman, respectful, and pay for the date and go about your way. Yes. Well said, Miss Davita. Brandy said, me too. A man left me. Okay. I guess this is becoming a normal thing or something now. And Davita said, wow, he was cheap, petty, and not a man if he stiffed you on the bill. Hadn't said he played you. Davita said that was the first time when he said I got drinks in the car. I know. I know. Yeah. That wouldn't have said well. Then I don't know. That's like how people used to sneak food into the movies or whatever. Like
I would never. No, you can't. Like, it's just certain things. I don't know. Is our guest here yet?
No. He came in early, and I told him we'd bring him on at 7:20. He hasn't returned.
Okay, I'm gonna check my texts and stuff. But yeah, like, so he said that, and I was really like, first of all, he was from New Orleans, and I be wanting to, people from New Orleans as fam, you be looking at them like that or whatever. And I didn't really want to say that he was from New Orleans. And then he was just like, he was just, I mean, he was just cool. So I was just like, and I was a little bit younger. You can't play with me like that right now.
Mm.
I mean, you
I
can't.
mean, so like, do you think it was possible that he more so saw you like as a friend when he asked you out, and it was gonna be like, oh, me, this just me and my homegirl hanging out, and she gonna pay?
No, because he didn't even eat. No, he didn't. He didn't order anything to eat. He only ordered something to drink. But yeah, I
Yeah.
and I mean, at the end of the day, I'm okay. I was okay with it because I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna sit here because I ate my stuffed shrimp. Because when I go to Razzies, I like they stuffed shrimp. I forgot what I had. Oh, I had crawfish fondue. I remember like it was just I had crawfish fondue. I don't know what drink, and I had stuffed shrimp because that's what I like when I go there. Stuffed shrimp.
Yeah, all this stuff just kind of it. I don't know. It just kind of make me already. I'm not dating during this time. That's something that y'all know. I said I was doing for my 90-day journey, but it just seems really scary stepping back out there. But I see Brandy said, unfortunately, we have to be so cautious, which is sad, and that's so true. And then she said, can't wait to see your guests. Yeah, yeah.
We're waiting. So how's your 90-day journey going?
It's actually just been going. I mean, I guess in some ways it's been going good because I've just been having a lot of revelations or something. But then at the same time, I have kind of been having this spat or something saying like with God, because a lot of ways I feel like he's had forgotten about me. So, but last night I was actually on the phone with one of my clients, and but we were on a Zoom call, and I was just really watching how her, I was observing her and how she talked about God and how strong her faith was. And it was like, I think it was something that I needed to see. But I have just still been a little conflicted because I was like, okay, God, I feel like you gave me this idea. You did not tell me I was going to have to go through hell and back just with these 90 days. But I think they're kind of taking a turn in some ways. Yeah, getting out, like the whole going to New York last week was really nice. Facebook really treated us really nicely, just with the dinner and the covering the stay and all that stuff. And it was a nice experience. And it kind of just like, it was good to get out of Louisiana. Anytime I can get out of Louisiana, I kind of feel some relief. But yeah, so that's kind of like how it's going. I've just kind of been thinking about, I don't know, almost I'm not gonna say a career change, but in some ways a career change. I've just been trying to figure out what I would do. But ironically, it's like even in the midst of all of this, I've still been being presented with opportunities, but they're all still in the same field. And so at one point I was like really excited, and I'm like, okay, God, I don't know if you're telling me like this is what I'm supposed to be doing. But I've just been trying to find some other ways to like build up my streams of income. Like I've been trying to find some other things that I can invest in when the opportunity presents itself. But with the recession and inflation and all that stuff, I've just kind of been like, just like, okay, this is such a crazy time right now. But I'm hanging in there, so I don't know.
Are you vlogging?
Yeah, I vlogged today.
Okay. I've been making sure I vlog. I did vlog about the whole thing that happened on Saturday. I've been doing a lot of vlogs in the car because I'm doing it while I'm in motion. Like, let me tell y'all what happened. I would say this. Sometimes following God leads you into a lion's den, but you won't be eaten. Sometimes following God leads you into a fiery furnace, but you won't be consumed. You just have to remember that He's with you. Um, Going through everything last year, everything that I went through from the apartment, my dad dying, my niece totaling my car, my dad in and out of the hospital while I am in the hotel, my car, having to getting my car fixed, to just everything. Even dealing with something, letting go a 7-year a person that I feel like I had held on for 7 years. Is that Darryl?
Yeah, so I was trying to figure out a way how to message him. But Darryl, you can come back in, hon.
I know I just messaged his PR and was like, hey, we waiting on him. She said she's gonna let him know.
Okay.
So waiting on God, watching God work through all of that, even in that, like I've been experiencing that the calmness and just praising God through the parts where I don't understand and everything, because I thank God I was able to pay for that laptop. You know what I'm saying? But did I want to pay for it? No. Did I want to spend those coins on that? Because I got 3 trips coming up. I got Houston, Sacramento, and North Carolina. But I do understand that God is with me, and I go back to the Psalms 23. It says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will feel no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. And I just stand on that like, okay, hell is breaking loose, but I got to stand on that. And I just try to stay positive, listen to the affirmations, and I got some new ones and just different things. Even today, and I pour that into my spirit, and I see he came. I pour that into my spirit every day so I can have somewhere to grab, even with prayer. It's like I pray all the time, so I have prayer in the bank. The old folks say I got prayer in the bank, so I have something there to grab from. And so even with I didn't feel well this morning when I woke up, then I had to go get my laptop because I knew I needed it. But thank God this one came on. While I was doing all that, Lady Bree song "This Will Be the Day" was playing in my ear. It was like, I will rise up, I will stand strong. Like, this is the words that I'm hearing in my head because I've already made those deposits. So that's that.
I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead on and bring in Darryl. And I'm not, and I see some of y'all comments. I gotta read them all, but I know this is more personal. I don't want to keep him waiting, so I'll just check those out later.
Hey, what's up, ladies? How y'all doing? How you doing? Thanks for having me.
You are so welcome. It's so funny because I've been following you for so long. I've been following you a little bit on my Lady CO page. Okay. And when your PR hit me up, she was like, what are you looking for? And I told her, what we were looking for. And she was like, Darryl. I was like, okay, yes.
Yeah.
So that was really dope. So welcome, Darryl. Welcome to
the
podcast.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's an honor. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome. Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself, those who don't know you?
Okay, awesome. Well, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? My name is Darryl. I am a big and tall model, actor, singer from Dayton, Ohio. And I'm fighting every day, to push the narrative and change the narrative of big men. And also I have a movement that I've started called Whatsup, Little Bro. And it's a movement basically to empower young men to become their greatest selves, just by teaching them fundamental, life lessons, like controlling your temper, respect, hygiene. It's things like that. It's so important, especially for young men, especially young Black men, So yeah, that's who I am. And I'm looking forward to, you guys following me, getting to know me a little more.
Look, I gotta say this. I hope also, I know you, I don't know if you were on for our TAT question, whereas we were just talking about like men and
I was listening. I was listening. It was funny because I'm watching this and I'm like, okay, I never really used the app before. So I'm like, okay, do I jump in here? So yeah. But I was listening. Yeah, I was
listening. Like, what are your thoughts on the matter? What are you teaching the young men in regards to this?
That's a good question, Fancy.
No, that's good. No. I feel, me personally, I feel like as a man, if I invited a lady out, to go anywhere, I feel like, it's my responsibility to pay. Unless, she's like, just a friend, or we kicking it like we homies, and they'd be like, okay, look, no, I ain't paying for you. That relationship you have with your friends, but like if I'm saying, hey, Arnaya, let's step out, just I should pay because I'm inviting you out. Now, I didn't agree with you on the whole Applebee's thing, because I'm like,
so you gonna want to say you taking me to Applebee's? No,
I'm not a fan of Applebee's. I just feel like, maybe Applebee's is the spot. Maybe you have a guy where Applebee's is in his budget, right? He's still paying, right? But he wants to take you to go. I don't know. I feel like a date can be as extravagant or as simple as we want it to be,
You're absolutely correct. And let me say this real quick before we get into the interview. I just don't like Applebee's. You can take me to a mom and pop's place. It's not about the money.
Okay.
It's not the money part. But if he can, if Apple, and let me say this, and I mean this in the most respectful way, unapologetic way, but respectful. If Applebee's is the only thing he can afford, he can't date me.
Okay. Talk that stuff. Hey, that's honest and that's real. And I
may
respect
not
it.
be
Hey,
the girl for him because
it.
I'm going to these other places. And every time we go, I can't always fit the bill. Now, if you my man, I don't mind. Not every time though.
Okay.
So
okay.
So when I come to go, you're gonna have to show me the nice restaurants.
Okay, I got you. I'm in between. I hear you. I'm in between, but it's okay. We'll agree to this. Agree on that one. I'm with you though. I love the fact that you know what you want, what you deserve, and that's an amazing thing because a lot of people don't and they just put up with whatever. And if you know what you expect out of a man, don't negotiate. Don't waver. Right. Those are your non-negotiables. So I respect you even having that. So
Applebee's,
no. Applebee's, no Applebee's. I got you.
Maybe for dessert only.
Top tier only.
Dessert only. We can go to a mom and pop shop, $5 pizza. I'm good with that. Just not Applebee's. Okay. So one of the reasons why I follow you is because I do a little I call it amateur modeling because I've done some runways and different things and I've been print, but I'm not as big as you are. So how did you find your way into the big and tall modeling scene? How did that happen?
Yeah, so growing up I was, bigger than everybody. Suffer with, like most people, like lack of confidence. I was the corny dude, I'm still corny. I claim it though.
We like
I'm with it. I was a corny dude and I was just didn't really know how to handle myself around people. I felt socially awkward and I honestly just didn't feel like I fit in, right? And my dad would tell you I didn't like my size, I didn't like being just who I was, right? So and that came from childhood trauma and everything like that. But then it got to the point where as I'm entering my early 20s, I'm like, okay, dude, I'm tired of beating myself up, Like the world is gonna do that enough. I'm tired of, on top of what the world is telling me, I'm tired of me doing it to myself, right? So I kind of was like, okay, let me start moving a little bit differently. And I had a friend of mine and she told me, she was like, yo, Darryl, you are, because she was another plus size model. She was like, Darryl, you are the poster child for big and tall. And I'm like, I'm like, what the hell is big and tall? I didn't know anything about it. I'm like, okay, I know I'm big and I know I'm taller than everybody. And I know I have a hard time finding clothes wherever I go. I hadn't been able to shop at a mall since I was 14, 15 years old. And, just I understand I'm bigger than everybody, but what was big and tall? She broke it down to me and showed me. She was like, yo, there's a whole community of people who admire you and who are just like you, who went through similar things and who are overcoming insecurities. And you're 6'7", 360 something pounds. You are big and tall. And I'm like, huh. So at this point, it's end of 2019, and I had went on a vacation earlier that year to the Dominican Republic, and I had took my first shirtless picture. It was off guard. My cousin called me. She's like, yo, Darryl. And I turned around. I'm like, what? And she caught this perfect picture at the perfect time. And it was just me with my shirt off. And I held on that picture forever. And I was like, I'm going to post it. I'm going to post it on Facebook. I wasn't really on Instagram at the time. I posted it and threw my phone. I was like, I'm done. They about to talk about me. They about to clown me. And the reaction to that was way different than what I was expecting. I found a community of people in the comments like, yo, you could be big. You could really do this. And I'm like, okay. So I started the gram up and Instagram and really started going hard in the beginning of 2020. And I had my low points of just the stagnant, no followers. But then I went viral. I want to say September of 2020. and that just skyrocketed. And ever since then, the things just been kind of slowly but surely falling into place, you know. But it was all by, I just feel like, you know, God brought me to that point of, you know, that specific conversation of like, yo, like, you're not as bad as you think you are. And it's time, let me show you. And things just kind of started happening. So, yeah.
What did you go viral for? I mean, like, was it a photo?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a photo. So I did, I was at a place where I was thinking about giving up, right? Giving up the whole, because when you say you model, like you put so much time and effort and money into these shoots, and most of the time don't get anything back. It's nothing like, it's so much put in that you don't really get much out, right? So I was at this point, I was like, you know what, I don't need as many pictures of myself. You know, like I really don't. Well, I was like, no, I'm gonna do this one last shoot with my friend Tony's a photographer. I was like, in my head, he didn't know it was my last shoot, but I was like, this is it for me. You know, I'm just gonna go forget this modeling stuff. Well, we went to Ocean City, Maryland, and went to the beach, and I had invested so much and sacrificed so much to make that happen. And we had a beach shoot, and this was during the like right around the pandemic time, and we did a mock Essence magazine cover. Right? Do you remember when people was doing that a little bit?
I remember your cover, honey. I think
yeah,
we talked about it on here.
Yeah. No, and like that was what it was. Like we did that, and I was like, you know what, Darryl, if this don't do anything, it don't do anything well. And I learned a lot of lessons this moment because we posted it, and then out of nowhere, like it's just ding, 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 ding. And a week prior to that, I had one of my first e-commerce shoots with a company in New York. And I had friends calling me like, yo, Darryl, like, I'm sitting here on health.com trying to order medicine, and yo, big will pop up in like an advertisement. You know what I mean? And I'm like, dang, like it's crazy because people are sharing my stuff. Like, if you knew Darryl back in school, you would understand how major this is, blah, 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 blah. Well, overnight, I woke up and I'm like, man, I had gained 7,000 followers, and I had all these messages from people who I grew up with or people I ain't talked to in years. Like, yo, I'm on Twitter, and you know, this famous page or this artist done shared or you know your stuff, and I'm like, man. So that took me. That did a lot for me. You know, God definitely moved in that, and then it's funny though because I learned a lot of lessons in that as well. Like people always want that viral moment, right? But as a guy, right, who grew up the way I did and just felt the way I felt in the beginning, you are in front of the world with all of your insecurities, right? I had people sharing my stuff, also making jokes because, you know, having a big and tall guy with, you know, a belly and, you know, man, you know what I'm saying? All that's not the world's standard of beauty, right? Mm-hmm. Or world standard of sexiness. So I'm in front of the world with all of my insecurities, and people was talking stuff in the comments, and it was just weird, but the positive definitely outweighed the negative. And but yeah, that mock Essence magazine cover went viral, and then a famous Facebook page, this guy, he put a collage together for my pictures, and it went nuts. So yeah, that was a crazy time because you have to learn how to deal with that too, and also learn how to for anybody else who's influencing whatever, also learning how to capitalize off of that moment, because I didn't, right? Because that's what it is. It's a moment. Like you're here in that moment, you're there, and then after that, it dies down. So learn how to capitalize off that as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that. Go ahead, Fancy.
No, you can finish. I do want to acknowledge some comments though, because like he's getting a lot of love on his side. So
okay. I was gonna say it's funny that you did that because I was like, is this a real cover? Like I was literally, and I want to say we talked about it on the show, and I don't know how long I've been following you. I just know that you know you just follow models and do different things and things, and I was just like, girl, you know this is a good cover, and it was really, really, really nice, and it was really tasteful. But you said something really major just now. People don't know how to handle when they go viral, and sometimes they don't know how to capitalize that. So Face is gonna tell you about everybody one girl is giving you so much love in the
Yeah,
comments. And we go finish up. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, because I just gotta acknowledge Brandy's comments. I don't know if you know Brandy, or she's definitely a fan or a follower. If not, so she said Darryl is bomb.
Thanks
Darryl
for the love, Brandy.
confirmed configuration. Love your confidence. At the end of the day, you're sexy and amazing. So I just want to make
Thank
certain.
you, Brandy. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Do you know Brandy?
Seriously, I don't.
Brandy's trying to know you.
Thank you, Brandy.
She been waiting.
Thank you for the love. Seriously, that means a lot. And like, it's funny being, in this position or this place in my life, right? Because it's funny because growing up, I wasn't used to it, and I am thankful for my beginnings because, a lot of times people don't know how to handle a compliment, and to me, it still shocks me sometimes when I hear the love or. So it really means a lot to me, to hear people say that and say that they like what I'm doing. So thank you, Brandy. Seriously.
Look, Brandy, you're going to have to wait your turn. We're going on a date and it's not going to be at Applebee's. No, but let me stop playing around. But seriously, that is so real because I know a lot of times people ask, when do you feel like that you was pretty? When did you feel like these different things? Not pretty in my case, but handsome in your case, or when did you feel like you was desirable? And you really stepped out there in confidence. Because people always tell me, "Oh, you're so confident. You wear this, you wear that," not knowing that sometimes I'm wearing it because that's what I want to wear, but I'm not as confident when I'm wearing it or whenever I'm doing it. So that was so powerful when you said, they don't know how to handle those moments. And also when you say about modeling, yes, it's a lot of money. People don't think it is. It's a lot of structure, like especially if you really, really, really get deep into it, learning techniques, photo shoots, just different things. For my 40th, before I turned 40, I did 6 months photo shoots.
Wow.
Hair, makeup, photography,
the whole thing. That's what I'm talking about.
And because that's what you do when you model. I had a wardrobe stylist and everything. So, it's a lot of money. If you ever thinking about getting into modeling, it's a lot of money. And especially if you got to travel, because I do a show. It's funny that you're in Dayton. I go to Cincinnati almost every year and do a plus size fashion show with my sis Angela and Dr. Angela Rivers. And this is I foot the bill to get there, but that's another runway for me to get on and get exposure.
And that's a great point. You got to invest in yourself. And I think at that moment, God is so good. And you know what I mean? Because like I think about sometimes, in that moment where I was definitely going to give up, that was my last shoot. I was like, I don't need as many pictures of myself and I'm just investing so much, but you got to. In that moment, right when you've done all that you can, that's when God steps in and he's like, nah, let me show you. Let me show you what you're going to do. He's like, because I was feeling like it was pointless, right? Like, I'm like, yo, I done spent this. I'm taking time off of work. I'm spending money that I don't have for real. You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing all this stuff and I'm not getting nothing out of it. But shoot, when I tell you that shoot did everything for me, and it just kind of took me to another level, and it gave me that confidence. Like, okay, Darryl, you may have something. It took all that to say, okay, maybe Darryl, you may got something here. Maybe sit still a little bit longer, because I originally gave myself 6 months. I told myself I'm gonna do this for half a year, 6 months, and if it don't do nothing, if nothing shake, it ain't gonna shake. But and like another thing you were talking about, one thing I realized, okay, Darryl, in this modeling thing, right? In the beginning, I was paying photographers. I'm like, okay, Darryl, you got to work with the photographers. You got to pay these photographers. And I realized, I'm like, you know what, Darryl? You have an iPhone.
I don't have an iPhone, Darryl.
Oh, yeah. So you got to step up. And no, you got to step up.
You sound like everybody in my life at this moment.
Fancy, do you have an iPhone?
Yes, she has an iPhone. No, I don't want to talk about it.
I could tell it's the clarity and everything. I get it. No,
we're not going on this date, Darryl.
It's okay.
We're not going to do this.
But no, like real talk. So I realized, I'm like, okay, I have an iPhone, right? And you can't keep affording to pay these photographers, especially when these photographers ain't really about nothing. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know in the beginning. So you paying and spending hundreds of dollars on these photographers who really ain't got no movement or pull in anything outside
Right.
of what they're doing, right? And so I realized, I'm like, okay, Darryl, learn to take your own photos. And I had seen other people, so I'm like, okay, it was in the fall. I remember it. I was like, okay, my homie, he had started a line. He sent me a sweater. I'm going to go outside and I'm going to go find it. I'm going to learn to take pictures. And after much practice and after, trying, we kind of became decent at taking my own pictures, learning how to edit, learning different apps that I could use to make it look like I got that splack on it. And it ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like it's official, but it ain't. It's official because I took
Right.
it, right?
Right.
And when you do get that photo that you took yourself, because it ain't easy, but when you do get that photo, it means a lot to you. Like, man, you know what? I put a lot for that. And then you get the love back. It just means so much. So if you want to be a model and you feel like, oh, I don't got the money to pay photographers to do this thing, start where you are.
Right.
You can always start. If you got an iPhone or if you got a decent camera, start there. You know what I mean? Start there and start taking your own photos.
Right.
I say work your move. Work your move. Let this moment catapult you.
I was about to capitalize on. I was gonna say, like you said, I have a girlfriend who sends me earrings.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Just so I can take pictures in them because I always take selfies. And I tag her, and that's just something to use.
It's important. It's important. And your friend, you know what I mean? Like it can be a working because your friends maybe have that brand or something that's gonna be the next big thing. You never know. Support your people and show love. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's simple. It's simple, but yeah.
We about that life over here, right?
That's what I'm talking about.
We be like,
that's how you do it.
Person.
You better rock them earrings. You know what I mean? Do your thing. Take the selfie.
I just did have them on today.
There we go.
You have something?
Well, no. Well, we are. I know getting close to time, but you didn't. Well, earlier you mentioned that about when he said that about like taking advantage or capitalizing on the moment. So I don't know if we cover that, you feel, or because I did kind of want to go back to that.
We didn't really talk about how he's now capitalizing on the moment because he said he didn't before.
I didn't, but I can, hindsight, I can say, right, in that moment, right, when you're in front of everybody's eye, strike. Because what I did was I had that shoot and I was like, this is the moment. But I didn't run with that fire or that, leverage that I had at the moment, right? Mm-hmm. So that was the time, and everything happens for a reason because, I'm blessed, it worked out. But like, take that moment when you're in front of everybody's eye and reach out to those companies, reach out, be like, hey, my name is such and such, and I just went viral. Check Twitter, check Facebook, hashtag big and tall. I'm gonna be one of the first one. Like any company that has your department or whatever you're trying to do, in those moments, if you do get that chance to go viral, or whatever, when you got a high backing, people pushing for you, attack. Keep that fire going, because I didn't do that, and it slowed down, and it took me a second to get back. And when it comes to this journey, it's highs and lows, and after that high, it went right back down. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's yeah, definitely.
Okay. So I wanted to make sure we are getting close to time, but we did start his interview part.
Yeah,
I
and that's my fault. Like, I didn't know. I'm sorry. I'm sitting there watching you guys, and I'm like trying to,
It's okay. What up, little bro? What made you say it's time to start this? Let me go ahead and do this because it's needed. How did that?
Yeah, I got you. So I realized I came to a point on my social media where I was like, I need to be as transparent and just be me. And Darryl, what is something that you're passionate about, right? Okay, yeah, you take photos, you like music, you like to do all this stuff, but what are you really passionate about? What do you love to do? And I love to speak to people, right? And especially something that hits home to me is young men, you know what I mean? Because young men go through so much that we don't even speak about because we don't even feel like it's okay to speak about certain things we go through as young men because we're young men. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, and I just said a lot, but I mean to say, like, when it comes to pride as a man, because even as a young man, we have our pride, right? And whatever you go through, whether, it's abuse, whether it's physically, mentally, whatever you went through, a lot of times we're taught not to speak on it. And then, unfortunately, as young men grow older, we become, the black man who hasn't healed from his trauma, from whatever it is, right? And so I was like, you know what, Darryl, it's time to try to speak and be that guy that you needed. You feel like you wanted when you was coming up, right? To teach you little things like, that you wanted to hear, right? Because, I had both parents, they was there, but there's, they were doing the best they can. They were trying to provide all these different things. So there was a lot of lessons that, I felt would have been important. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna come at it from a standpoint, because I wish I had a big brother. You know what I'm saying? I had one, but he passed away. He wasn't really that close, right? So I'm like, I know the power of a big brother, and I'm like, you know what? I want to see that young man. I'm like, what's up, little bro? You know what I mean? Like, how you doing? And just talk to him and be like, yo, it's okay. Like, you got that girl you like? Why don't you, why aren't you trying to talk to her? Like, it's confidence, man. Listen, it doesn't take much to just walk up and be a gentleman, right? I want to try to mold young men, help mold young men to be, better people in society, and ultimately help change the world. You know what I mean? Because, us as men, we're supposed to lead, and if we learn to do that the right way, fundamentally, like those developmental years,
Yeah.
it could change us coming up, because I remember growing up, my dad was big on being a gentleman, open the door. He used to make me open the door for my little sister everywhere we went, and I hated it. But now I realize as an adult, I'm like, yo, like, chivalry is something that's slowly but surely leaving. It's a lot of dudes out here who don't really operate like that, which is, to each his own. But for me, I realize the value in that. And I just want to kind of plant the seeds of growth in young men, you know what I mean? Especially young black men, you know what I mean? I'm talking to all young men, but definitely young black men, because I know that it's a lot of that lacking in our upbringing, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
That is so needed, because I always say that women will go to a conference, women will buy the book, they'll watch the podcast, they'll listen to these different things, but a man won't do all those things. They won't go to the conference. Some of them will, don't get me wrong, they have those movements, but a great majority don't. But everybody's always trying to tell a woman how to be a woman. But I always say, when are they going to tell a man how to be a man, or even start showing them how to grow up and be a man?
Yeah.
It is so needed, because men will listen to a man. As a woman, I might can tell him what I like, but I can never tell him how to be a man.
Exactly. And that's the thing. It's like, it has to come from the right person, right? And black men, it's like a lot of times either the father is missing, or we're just getting all of the wrong advice from all the wrong people growing up. And so, and it's just the simple things, hygiene, respect, anger, chivalry, confidence, just all these different things that play a huge part in development, right? And I am just trying to be that guy that I wanted to be growing up. You know what I mean? So that's who I am, That's who I am.
I really think that that's great, especially as my son is 22, and there's never been like a positive male figure in his life, and like Anya said, it has been really hard. And there's like even little things, like I just was thinking to myself earlier today, I need to make sure my son knows how to hold a conversation with a woman, like, because that's something that when I did my blog earlier, I was talking about that, just how it seems like men do not know how to hold conversations. But even as we're talking about, this whole the dating scene, and just men paying and things like that, there's just like so many things. But as I'm kind of seeing things, I'm thinking to myself like, hey, I didn't talk to him about this before, I probably should talk to him about this now. But I think like what you're doing is really great. And I also just want to acknowledge Walter, because I see that he's been on for a while. I don't know if you know him, but he has been in the comments. And so he was
What's up, Walt? That's my boy. What's up, Walt?
Okay, yeah, he's been supportive as well. So
yeah, no, that's what up, little bro.
that's real. And like what you said, the conversation piece, and I'm actually going to do a video about that, is I had to learn, and this is something about an effective communication as a man is ultimately is a major key in life. And like something I've learned, through relationships, and I know we're getting short on time, but like through relationships and everything like that. Learn to listen fast, be slow to speak, and be quicker to listen. You know what I mean? Just kind of being able to hold a conversation, because most of the time we listen just to respond and not to understand.
Right.
And so, but that's a whole nother thing. I know, you guys gotta.
Well, we can bring you back to talk about that.
Yeah. It goes deep, but yeah, it goes really deep.
Okay, look, Brandy really wants to know how old you are. I don't know if you want to share.
Like 3 times.
I turn 30 next year.
Oh, he's 29.
Yeah, I'm a baby.
We can still go out for dessert. I'm a little bit older.
She's like, I'm a little bit older. Okay.
I'm 41. Listen, but no, back to this. I'm just kidding around. But back to this. It is so important because there aren't a lot of guys who know how to hold a conversation and keep attention. And I tell people all the time, you won't have to ask a woman what she brings to the table, or she won't be so what they call masculine if you bring in your masculine. If you bring your masculinity,
it's because all energy.
I rest in my femininity when I have a man around, like a man that's really, baby, I rest in my femininity. When I tell you I am so soft, I am soft. I'm like like a teddy bear, but a lot of guys don't get that because they come with this other stuff, and I have to be on the defense. That's what I feel like. I have to be on the defense. And being on the defense, it's like I always got to be hard, and nobody I know I don't want to be with a man that I feel like I always have to be on the defense and that I can't rest in my femininity. So that is, and when you say hygiene,
it goes, hygiene definitely goes both ways, but at the same time, when we talk about like the energy thing, like your femininity, that's what you should be, right? And when a man is bringing the energy he should, that's ultimately going to ignite the energy that, because you shouldn't have to be gangster all the time. You shouldn't have to be tough. You shouldn't have to have this hard chip on your shoulder, but that's all a part of dealing with I guess men that didn't come correct when it came to their energy, their masculine energy. And I'm just trying to get it to the point where our young men know how to be that, right? Know how to want a woman and not need a woman. Learn how to cook, take care of yourself, and just these fundamental things are so important. It's so important to the development of our young men. And I'm just trying to do my part because it's something that I'm passionate about. And it's something that I feel like learned at a young age, 8 to 13, 14, 15 years old. Like those years are so important in the young man's development. And I'm just trying to help. That's all. I'm just trying to do my part. I feel like it's my duty. Right.
So are you, is it online, or are you actually interacting with them in person, or?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram at Whatsup, little bro. It's a movement I just started, and follow me there. Ultimately, I want to, start doing speaking engagements. I had the pleasure of speaking at actually my old high school back in Springfield, Ohio, not too long ago, and that meant the world to me, just seeing the students and just kind of connecting with them. But yeah, at Instagram on Whatsup, little bro. Facebook page coming soon. And if you have a little brother, little cousin, a son, something that, and even if you're a single mom, if you just see my videos and be like, you know what, I'm gonna show him this because this is powerful, or I'm gonna try to teach him this lesson. This is things that you can use, seeds you can plant, on your own.
So Darryl's name is Darryl Perry. He is KholoLifestyle.com. His Instagram is
Kholo. Kholo.
Kholo. Sorry.
Kholo. No, it's okay. I just want him to get it. Kholo.
It's KHOLO lifestyle.com, and it's KHOLO lifestyle on Instagram. Also _ what's up, Lil Bro. Just how it's pronounced, because we have audio as well. It's all right. So that's why I do that. Thank you so much for joining us. We're gonna have to bring you guys on again. This was a great interview.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Definitely. Thank you for having me, ladies. Talk to you soon. All right.
All right.
He's
All right, bye.
I like that shirt he had on.
Yeah, it was nice.
That was cool.
He was
So,
very interesting.
huh?
Yeah, he was very interesting.
He was. And like I said, I had followed him. So when she hit me up and asked me what we were looking for, and I was like, well, we're trying to get males, for the month of June. And, and I, told you about it and we decided to bring him on. So that was dope. That was a dope interview. Always good to talk to someone, especially someone who's going to talk back, who has a story. Good talk. So we've been very blessed here lately for that. As y'all know, I am Anya T.M. Davis. My website is ladyceo.com. Girl, last week when you was out, I didn't know how to play the commercial. I was like, where is my banner? Like,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Huh? I put them on.
Oh,
I did everything. And I did one for Sharona and Jay. My Instagram is lady, spelled with an I, .ceo. I'm Lady CEO on all platforms. My email address is arnya@ladyceo.com. And that's me.
okay. And of course, all of my networks are Swagger Magazine. Our website is swagger.net. My link tree is Fancy Thoughts. And also, I just want to take a minute since I wasn't on last week and thank Rally Up Magazine for featuring me as their cover story for this July issue. If you all haven't had a chance to check it out, it is on my Instagram page as well as as well as all of my platforms, so you all can find the link there and support if you like to. But Rally Up is a mental health magazine, and Nikita had been on with us last month as a guest, so you all can also check that out.
Yes. Walter, you can send us an email at theories and thoughts at ladyceo.com. I see he had put he'll love to be on the show. So if anybody's interested in being on the show, theories and thoughts at ladyceo.com. Thank you, Sharona, for last week also for stepping in. I think you was traveling or something. So
yeah, thank you, Sharona.
Next week we will have his name just don't even worry about it. I feel so ashamed because how my mind go blank. Just I'm too young for this. But since I said it, let me go to the email to tell y'all who he is. Prescott. Prescott is a basketball owner. He's the owner and coach of the team. So he'll be on next week. Also acknowledging Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Sunday will be Father's Day. And that's all I got. You got anything fancy?
No, happy Father's Day. Happy Juneteenth.
Oh, happy Juneteenth as well. All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye. Uh-huh.